You're listening to the Naptime Empires podcast with my mom, Nikki Elledge Brown. Mom, your show's on.
Thanks, bud. I got it from here. Welcome to the Naptime Empires podcast, refreshingly honest conversations on the realities of parenthood and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Nikki Elledge Brown. Let's get started. When was the last time you went 5 hours without checking Facebook on your phone or whatever your favorite social media app is? Okay, 12 hours, 24, do I hear 48? Do I see 72? When was the last time you've gone an entire weekend without checking Facebook or Instagram or whatever your favorite social media platform is? That's what I want to talk about. This is going to be a short and sweet episode that's a bit of a challenge, like Red Lips and Dance Parties, which hopefully, if you haven't listened to that one, it's episode 5. But this is something way back when I was dreaming up the Naptime Empires podcast. I was like, what are just little things I'm doing that are making my life better and more enjoyable that I could challenge other people to do? And this is something that I would love to challenge you on if it feels right for you, which is to go without social media for a weekend and see what happens. Now, the trick is you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to stay off of it. You have to actually think of what you're going to do instead. I did this at some point last year. I ended up reading all of Big Magic, Liz Gilbert's book, Big Magic, which I talk about in episode 3 when I'm also talking about her podcast. And then I started reading another book called The Desire Map by Danielle LaPorte. And it was just so enjoyable. Like I have a specific memory of Bryson playing on a slip and slide in the front yard, like actually just enjoying. I think the reason why I remember him playing on the slip and slide is because I was like, oh, I want to take a picture and post it on Instagram. And then I realized, like, if I didn't post it on Facebook or Instagram, does that mean it didn't actually happen? Like if a tree falls in a forest, if a priceless family memory happens, and nobody posted on Instagram, did it really happen? Spoiler alert, yes, it did happen. But it's just so interesting to me, the times that we live in, and I'm super thankful, so don't get me wrong. I love Facebook, and I love Instagram, and I love technology and the way that it helps us connect. For Pete's sake, I live 4,000 miles away from most of my family, so it's been a huge blessing to have technology and to be able to keep in touch. And most of my very best friends I've met through the magic of the internet. So I'm very thankful for that, for the internet and for social media and all that goodness. But I also feel like when I started my business, I was swallowed by the internet. Like I just dove in head first, and like Alice in Wonderland, like I just kind of fell down. And then I just kind of came up and I was like, oh, right. There's a whole world out here. Like remember when you used to work away or outside of the home, and maybe like for whatever reason you would have to get to go out, like run an errand. Kind of like if you used to have an orthodontist appointment at school and you'd feel really sneaky being out in the day, like at 11 o'clock somewhere, and you're like, oh, look at all these people enjoying life outside of school or outside of work. I used to dream of that, right? It was life. And then all of a sudden when I started my business, it's like I'm like, okay, drop Bryson and then come right home. And I have to be home and I have to be in my laptop basically, or else it doesn't count. And I realize how backwards that is, because truly the most successful in terms of, yes, money, but also relationships, connection, and straight up joy and enjoyment in their lives, they are totally not chained to their desks. I tell you that. So this is just the wake-up call. The chained to their desks, chained to their phones. So, you can say laptop, phone, whatever I'm talking about is an addiction to technology. This also ties back to episode 2 with Christy Goodwin, Dr. Christy Goodwin. So if you haven't listened to that one, definitely check it out, because she has so many great things to say. And it's not just about kids and screens. It's about us. Imagine our kids who have never known a time without the screens. And then they're us. Like, if we're so addicted, imagine how addicted they will be if they don't have more green time, as she calls it. And that's really my challenge for you this weekend, or if you're listening to this in the middle of the week, you can plan for the weekend if you want, or do whatever, however you want to do it. I'm just encouraging you to challenge yourself to take some time away from whatever your favorite news feed is. So some people will delete the apps completely. Some people will move the apps like way back, like however many several screens down. I tried that, but then my phone will like suggest my most recently used apps anyway. So they're always right there, even if I, like scoot them all the way back. The most frequently opened always show up, and it's still easy to click them. And when I first tried this a couple weekends ago, I would just find myself, doing the most random things, like doing something where there's literally no reason for my brain to need a distraction. But I find myself just out of pure ingrained habit, reaching for my phone, clicking through to Facebook. And I was like, ah! And then I closed it because I was like, wait, I'm not doing this weekend. I'm not doing this. And it's just crazy what a habit it is. But it's just a habit. So I had to have a list of what are the things I'm going to do instead. So whether that's obviously playing with your kids or your family, if you're not alone, just engaging with the people who are there in your real life. Like I said, those humans that are out walking around the world, enjoying their days. You could be one of those humans going to the beach, reading a book. Honestly, like reading a book in your hands. I would love to hear what some of your favorite books are, but just like having a book in your hands and just taking your eyeballs off the screen. Okay, but I'm not going to lie. That first weekend, I did binge watch the season 2 of Fuller House. Okay, I did. And I don't regret it. So that was a screen, but it was just a treat. Like it was and I was looking for houses, which I have a very exciting update for you on that. Jeremy and I and the boys are moving back to Texas over the rainbow this summer, and we found a house. So one weekend, I watched Fuller House, and then the next weekend where I was Facebook free, I bought a house. What on earth does this weekend have in store? I can only guess. That's seriously it. That's what I wanted to tell you. There are lots of other things I want to tell you. So actually, I would love it if you would join me in the Facebook group. If you haven't yet, go to naptimeempires.com/Facebook. Join the group. You just look for the link in the email. Because I would love to have a discussion around what you would love to hear about. Some of the things I would like to talk about are how I used an audio playlist to manifest this house. It's magic. But just like coming up with a playlist, seriously, I think that that's truly like what helped me get in the vibe and attract this beautiful, amazing, dreamy house just over the last week. So listening to a lot of music was one. This or something better. Being really committed to just wanting what you want, giving yourself permission to want what you want, and having faith and trusting that the right thing will come if you're patient and doing the work, to uncover it. You being your own boss, so actually owning the decisions that you're making and your own workflow. So for example, like I was talking about, being chained to your desk, that's just a habit. That's something you can change. You are literally the boss if you are a business owner. And so it's a matter of choices. And so taking responsibility for that. Oh, dude, there's so many things I would love to talk about. I'm also curious if you think it'd be fun to do where I actually like talk to people. So I would like Skype people based on questions that they have, and then we can just talk through it. Like, again, I mentioned that in episode 3 because that's kind of the format that Liz Gilbert used in her podcast, and I thought it was fun. So anyway, I would love to hear more of your feedback and what you would love in these solo shows. I have so many more great conversations coming up for you on the Tuesdays that we release new episodes. But in the meantime, your challenge, should you choose to accept it for this week, is to, whatever you need to do, whether it's delete the apps or scoot the apps or just have a reminder, to just challenge yourself to enjoy life beyond the newsfeed. Enjoy it with your actual eyeballs. And if you take a picture, it's for your own memory bank, or it's to share. You can share it on Throwback Thursday, even though it happened 5 days ago. That's fine. But just, see what happens, see what comes up, see what opportunities fill the void, right? Think about the things that you want to do, whether it is getting some work done, whether it's reading, whether it's taking a nap, whether it's catching up on your favorite show. There's so many lovely things you can do that are not mindlessly scrolling the newsfeed. Again, Facebook's great for keeping in touch. Yes, I know you can do the groups app and blah, blah, blah. But still, I think you'll be surprised when you give yourself some time away from it. When you come back on Monday morning and you have all those notifications, you can clear through them in just a matter of minutes. And think about how much time you would have spent over the weekend going like every time there's one new notification. You know, that to me is the most mind-blowing thing, is that I come in and I'm like, oh, well, okay, now I'm all caught up in 5 minutes, as opposed to the hours that I would have spent just scrolling through Facebook. It's crazy. So that's the ticket, right? Just be mindful of what we're doing. Make sure that how we're spending our time is how we really want to spend our time. This challenge may not be for you, but I have a feeling you would enjoy it. It's worth a shot. Worth a try. I'm enjoying it. And then make sure you have somebody who's like manning your pages, because if everybody knows you're gone and then they like graffiti your Facebook wall or something, you would want to be aware of that. But otherwise, I'd say you're good to go enjoy your life this weekend. Have a beautiful one, a beautiful day wherever you are. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I'll catch you in the next episode.
This show may be over, but the conversation is just beginning. Head on over to naptimeempires.com/Facebook so you can join my free... Wait, did I say free? I meant priceless, rapidly growing community of Naptime Empire builders for deeper discussions, behind-the-scenes scoop, and of course, updates whenever I've got new stuff coming up for you. naptimeempires.com/Facebook. See you there.
See you next time. Thanks for listening.